Captain Liam Shaw sat in the command chair of the starship Endeavour, staring out at the swirling colors of the unknown planet below. This was the moment his crew had waited for: first contact with an alien civilization that no human had met before. The planet, called Velanine, was lush and vibrant from space, full of green forests and shining blue oceans. Liam felt a mix of excitement and caution. They had trained for this mission for years, learning how to communicate and keep peace with new species, but nothing could fully prepare anyone for what might come next. "Prepare the landing party," Liam said quietly. His voice was calm but firm. "We need to make sure this planet is safe for us." The crew moved quickly, checking equipment and donning light protective suits. The shuttle lowered through the atmosphere, shaking slightly as it cut through thick clouds below. Strange shapes moved in the forests. Liam's heart beat faster. Who lived here? What would they look like? Would they welcome humans, or see them as a threat? When the shuttle touched down in a clearing near a river, the air smelled fresh and sweet. Birds with bright feathers flew overhead. The trees were tall and strange, with leaves that shimmered in the sunlight. It was beautiful, almost magical. Liam stepped out first, holding a small device that could translate languages. Behind him, the rest of the crew followed carefully. Suddenly, from the trees came a soft rustling. Liam raised his hand in greeting, ready for anything. A figure stepped into the light. She was unlike anyone Liam had ever seen. Tall and slender, with smooth skin that glowed faintly blue in the sunlight. Her eyes were large and bright, with colors that shifted like the surface of the ocean. Her hair flowed like silver waves. She wore a long, flowing robe made of a fabric that looked like liquid glass, changing colors as she moved. She did not carry any weapons, but stood with calm confidence. "I am Alara," she said, her voice musical and gentle. "Welcome to Velanine, Captain Liam Shaw." Liam blinked. The translator had worked perfectly. "We come in peace," he said. "I am honored to meet you, Alara." She smiled softly. "We have waited for you. Our people have watched your travels through the stars. We know much about humanity." Liam felt a strange warmth in his chest. This was not a hostile encounter. This was a meeting full of hope. "Please," Alara said, motioning to the trees behind her. "Come to our village. There we can talk and share stories." The landing party followed her through the forest, amazed at how the plants seemed to respond to her presence, parting gently to let them pass. Strange flowers glowed softly in the shadows. Small animals peeked from the undergrowth, curious but unafraid as they walked. Liam noticed Alara's calm strength. She did not rush or demand. Instead, she seemed to understand the world deeply, its beauty and its dangers. When they reached the village, it was like stepping into a dream. Homes were built high in the trees, woven from living branches and sparkling crystals. Light floated through the air like tiny stars. The villagers greeted them with quiet smiles, her skin also glowing softly in colors of blue and green dot. An elder approached a tall figure with silver hair braided with jewels. "I'm Iran," he said. "We welcome you, travelers from the stars." Liam bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Aaron. We come seeking friendship and knowledge." The elder nodded. "Then let your hearts be open. Our customs are different from yours. There's much to learn and many questions to ask." Liam felt the weight of those words. This was no simple visit. It was a chance to build something new. As the evening came, the village gathered around a glowing fire that seemed to float above the ground. Alara sat beside Liam, her eyes watching him carefully. "Captain," she said softly, "there is a question I must ask." Liam looked at her. "Surprised?" "Yes. How long must pass before you become my husband?" The words hung in the air like a delicate thread. Liam blinked, unsure if he had heard correctly. Alara smiled, not with teasing but with quiet hope. "In our world, the bond between two people is sacred. When someone asks this, it is not just about marriage, it is about trust, connection, and a future shared together. I ask because I see something in you." Liam swallowed hard. The question was strange, but it carried weight he could not ignore. He looked around at his crew, some of whom whispered nervously. This was more than a diplomatic mission now. It was personal. I I will learn what it means, he said slowly. But first, I want to understand your people and your world. Alara nodded.
That is wise.
The journey is as important as the promise. That night, as the stars shone brightly above the village, Liam lay awake in his quarters. The question echoed in his mind. How long must pass before you become my husband? It was not just a question of time. It was a question of humanity's place in the galaxy. Could humans build bridges with alien worlds, not just through technology or power, but through respect and love? Outside, the soft glow of Velanine's forests whispered promises of new beginnings. Liam knew this mission was only the start of a story much larger than himself. And somewhere in the quiet village, Alara watched the stars too, hoping that this human captain could become more than a visitor, that he could become a part of their world. The morning sun filtered softly through the shimmering leaves of Velanine's forest. Captain Liam Shaw stood outside his temporary quarters, looking out over the alien village. The strange but beautiful homes hung among the trees, glowing gently as if alive. The air was fresh, filled with the soft hum of creatures unseen. Liam felt the weight of the question Alara had asked the night before. How long must pass before you become my husband? It was a question unlike anything he had ever faced, and it carried meanings he barely understood. Today, he was determined to learn more about Alara's people and their ways. Captain, called Lieutenant Myra, stepping up beside him. The science team has been studying their communication devices. They're far more advanced than ours in some ways. We should prepare for a meeting with their leaders. Liam nodded. Thank you, Myra. Let's make sure we understand their culture before we meet. It's clear this isn't just a simple greeting. As the crew gathered, Alara arrived, her presence calm and welcoming. Come, she said softly. I will show you the heart of our world. She led them to a large open area at the center of the village. Here tall crystalline structures pulsed with light, and the air was filled with soft music, as if the planet itself was singing. Liam watched the villagers. They moved gracefully, speaking in a language that sounded like a melody. The translator hummed quietly, turning their words into something understandable. But many meanings were deeper, hidden between the lines. Alara turned to him.
Our culture is built on bonds. Not just between two people, but between families,
Clans, and communities. When I asked you about marriage, I did not only ask about a personal promise, I asked about becoming part of something greater. Liam frowned slightly. Can you explain? How does marriage work here? Lara smiled. Gently. Marriage is a sacred alliance. It is a joining of two souls, but also a joining of families and responsibilities. It is not rushed or taken lightly. Before one becomes a husband or wife, many tests must be passed. Liam listened carefully. What kind of tests? Ilara's eyes shone with a soft light. Tests of trust, patience, courage, and understanding. We must see if two beings can truly walk together, not just for days but for years. The humans exchanged glances. This was unlike any human custom. Here, marriage was not just love or law, but a path to unity and survival. Elder Iran approached, his silver hair glowing faintly in the sunlight. Captain Shaw, you must understand our people have lived for centuries with many dangers. Alliances, made through marriage, protect us. They build trust between groups and create strength. Liam nodded slowly. I see, so marriage here is also political? Iran smiled. Yes, but it is also personal. The two are not separate. To be a husband is to be a leader, protector, and friend. The crew began asking questions about daily life, traditions, and values. Alara and the villagers answered patiently. Liam was struck by how deeply connected they all were to their environment and to one another. Later, Alara took Liam to a quiet place by the river. The water sparkled with colors he had never seen. Captain, I asked my question because I see something different in you. Humans are brave, but they are also kind and curious.
That
Combination is rare in the galaxy. Liam smiled, feeling both honored and nervous. I want to understand your people and earn your trust. You will have the chance, she said. But it is not easy. The tests will show who you truly are. Over the next days, the Endeavor's crew worked closely with the villagers. They learned how the alien technology used energy from the planet itself, how their medicines healed through sound waves, and how their art expressed feelings in colors and shapes. But even as the humans admired the beauty of the culture, they also saw the challenges. The aliens faced threats from rival clans and dangerous predators in the wild forests. Their peaceful lives were fragile. One evening, during a village gathering, Alara spoke before the crowd. We honor the humans for coming here with open hearts, but remember, friendship must be earned. It is a journey of trust. Liam stood beside her, feeling the eyes of many on him. He realized that Alara's question was not just about him, it was about what humanity could become in this new world. Back in his quarters, Liam thought about Earth and how humans had often fought among themselves. Here on Villanine, the stakes were different. To survive, they needed to be united, not just as individuals, but as species. His thoughts were interrupted by a message from Lieutenant Myra. Captain, sensors have detected unusual signals from the forest edge. Could be a rival group. Liam's heart tightened. The peaceful days might be ending sooner than he hoped. As he prepared to meet with Alara again, he knew the question that had started this journey was just the beginning. How long must pass before you become my husband? It was a question of trust, but also a challenge, a call to prove that humans could be more than visitors, and Liam was ready to try. The sun rose slowly over Villanine, casting soft light through the sparkling leaves. Captain Liam Shaw stood beside Alara near a clearing. In the forest, today was the day he would begin the trial steps. That would test not only his strength and mind, but also his heart. Alara looked at him with calm eyes. Are you ready, Liam? He nodded. I am. I want to understand what it means to walk this path with you. She smiled gently. Then the first trial begins. The trial was simple in words, but difficult in meaning. Liam had to spend a full day alone in the forest, without tools or weapons, learning to live as the villagers did. He was to listen to the forest, understand its signs, and find his way back before nightfall. Liam stepped into the thick trees. The sounds of the village faded behind him, replaced by the whispering wind and calls of strange animals. The forest was alive in ways he had never imagined. Leaves glowed softly underfoot, and plants seemed to pulse with energy. At first, Liam felt unsure and vulnerable. Without his usual gear, he depended on his senses and his mind. He remembered the lessons Alara had shared, how the forest spoke, in colors and sounds, how the animals were not enemies, but neighbors. Hours passed. Liam found a small stream where the water sang over stones. He drank carefully and rested beneath a tree that seemed to hum with life. He closed his eyes and breathed deeply, feeling connected to the world around him. As the sun dipped low, Liam's path home was unclear. The forest had shifted in strange ways, making his journey a puzzle. He felt frustration, but remembered Alara's words. Trust the forest. Trust yourself. Using the light of glowing plants, Liam moved slowly. Suddenly, a soft glow appeared ahead. It was a cluster of villagers who had come searching for him. Alara stepped forward, her eyes bright with approval. You have learned well to listen and trust. Liam smiled, tired but proud. The forest is alive. I understand now. The next trials came in days that followed, each testing a different part of Liam's spirit. The second trial was of trust. Liam had to share his deepest fears and hopes with Alara and the council. It was difficult for him, used to keeping his feelings private as a military captain. But as he spoke, he saw the aliens listen with respect and kindness. I fear failure. Liam admitted one evening, not just for me, but for my people. I worry we may not be ready to share this universe. Alara reached out and touched his hand gently. Fear is natural. It is courage that matters, the courage to face the unknown together. The third trial tested Liam's patience and empathy. He was asked to help care for a sick child in the village. The child, shy and weak, needed comfort and attention. Liam sat by her side, learning to soothe with quiet presence. Understanding that sometimes strength was gentle, the villagers watched, surprised at how Liam's steady kindness helped the child smile. On the fourth day, the test was physical. Liam joined a hunt not for food, but to track and study a large forest creature that was causing damage to nearby homes. With Alara and skilled hunters, he learned to move silently and observe carefully. They did not want to kill the creature, but to find a way to live with it. Together, they found that the creature was scared and hungry. By leaving food in safe places, they helped it move away from the village peacefully. Each trial brought Liam closer to understanding this world and, to Alara, one night, beneath the glowing stars, Alara and Liam walked quietly by the river. The water shimmered with soft colors, as if alive with stories. "You have done well," Alara said. "But the hardest trial is still to come." Liam looked at her. "What is it?" "It is the trial of time and trust. To become husband and partner, we must not only pass tests, but live through moments that prove our bond. It cannot be rushed." Liam thought of Earth and how people often hurried in their lives, missing what was important. "Then I will wait," he said firmly. "I will prove that humanity can honor what you value." Alara smiled, her eyes shining with hope. "Is all we ask."
The days that followed brought more lessons and shared moments. Liam taught the villagers about human technology and ideas, careful not to overwhelm them. In return, he learned about their art, music, and deep connection to the
planet. The crew of the Endeavor grew closer to the villagers, building friendships and respect. Liam saw his people not just as explorers, but as guests in a beautiful and delicate world. Yet, with every step forward, Liam felt the pressure of the question that started it all. How long must pass before you become my husband? It was no longer just about marriage. It was about proving that two very different beings, human and alien, could build something lasting. The trials were not just tests. They were a path to understanding, respect, and perhaps even love as Liam stood once more. In the clearing, looking at the glowing homes and the faces of new friends, he felt ready for whatever came next. Because this was more than a mission. It was the beginning of a new story for him, for Lara, and for humanity. The sky above Velanine had turned gray. Heavy clouds rolled in over the forest canopy, casting long shadows on the glowing village below. The air was thick, and the wind carried a strange tension, as if the world itself was waiting, Captain. Liam Shaw stood near the edge of the village with Alara. Both looked toward the horizon, where a strong energy storm was building. These storms were rare, but powerful. They could damage the forest, the homes, and even the connection between humans and the villagers. "This one is stronger than the last," Lara said quietly, her silver hair fluttering in the wind. "It will test us." Liam nodded. "What can we do to help?" Alara's eyes met his. "We must protect the Heartstone. It gives balance to our village. Without it, the storm will cause chaos." "The Heartstone?" Liam asked. She pointed to a tall crystal structure in the center of the village. "It keeps the forest calm during the storm, but it must be guarded. Sometimes the storm awakens creatures from the deep woods, creatures who fear its light." "Didn't hesitate. Then I'll stay with it." "You won't be alone," Alara said. "I'll stay with you." The wind howled louder. The villagers began preparing. Homes were sealed. Young ones were brought into safety chambers built inside the large tree structures, and energy fields were raised around important buildings. The human crew joined in, helping wherever they could. Liam and Alara stood by the Heartstone as the first wave of lightning lit up the sky. The crystal pulsed with soft blue light, sending waves of calming energy into the forest. For a moment, it seemed to be working. Then came the sound, low and deep, like a distant drumbeat. From deep the edge of the trees, shadows began to move. Liam saw them first, tall, dark creatures with eyes like glowing embers. They were not evil, Alara had explained, but they were wild and easily disturbed by energy storms. The Heartstone's light confused them. "They seek shelter," Alara said, "but they fear the stone's power. We have to stop them." "Without hurting them," Liam said, raising his arm. He activated a sound beacon idea, the humans had developed after watching how the villagers calmed forest animals. It emitted a gentle frequency, one that mimicked the planet's natural hum. The creatures paused. They swayed slightly, confused. Then one of them growled and moved forward. Alara stepped in front of the Heartstone. Her voice was soft but strong. She sang in her native tongue a song of peace and guidance. The melody echoed through the trees, and the creatures slowed again, listening. But the storm grew louder. A bolt of lightning struck a nearby tree, sending sparks flying. The creatures panicked and ran toward the stone. Liam stood firm. "They're going to destroy it." He pulled out a reflective shield standard issue for the Endeavor crew and used it to redirect the light of the Heartstone upward, lessening its shine. Alara kept singing, her voice unwavering. Slowly, the creatures calmed. They backed away. Into the forest, guided by the rhythm of Alara's song and the steady pulse of the beacon. The storm passed within the hour, leaving broken branches and glowing rain behind. But the Heartstone stood unharmed, still glowing with quiet strength. Alara looked at Liam with deep gratitude. "You didn't just protect the stone, you protected the balance of our world." Liam smiled, brushing rain from his face. "Only followed your lead." That night, the village held a small gathering to give thanks. There was no loud music or grand speeches, just shared food, quiet stories, and gentle light dancing on the trees. Elder Aaron approached Liam as he sat beside Alara. "You have done more than expected, Captain. Storm was not just nature. It was the final part of your trial." Liam raised his eyebrows. "I didn't know there would be one more." Euron nodded. "True strength is not shown in peace, but in danger. You acted with courage and with care. You did not fight the storm. You worked with it," Alara touched Liam's arm gently. "You were patient, you were kind, you were strong, but never cruel. That is the kind of partner our world honors." Liam looked around at the villagers, at the glowing forest, and then back to Alara. "I came here on a mission," he said quietly. "But somewhere along the way, this became more than just a mission to me." She nodded, and I asked a question. "Not to test you, but to offer a path." You did not rush to answer, and that told me more than words ever could. The wind was gentle now. Stars returned to the sky, bright and endless. Alara stood and reached out her hand. "Will you walk with me? There is something I want to show you." Liam took her hand, and they walked through the quiet village into the forest. Where small lights floated like fireflies, they stopped near a large tree shaped like an open flower. Inside, it was a stone circle glowing with soft light. "This is the circle of promise," Alara said. "Only those who truly wish to share their life may enter." Liam looked at her, heart steady. "Then let's step in together." And so, under the stars of a distant world, human and an alien woman walked into the light to hearts. From two worlds, beginning a promise that would shape the future of both. The forest of Elenine was calm after the storm. The sky glowed with stars, and the wind carried a fresh scent through the tall trees. The villagers had begun rebuilding what was broken, but their hearts were full of peace and hope. Captain Liam Shaw walked beside Alara, hand in hand. Their steps were soft on the glowing grass as they left the circle of promise behind. Though no words were spoken, something had changed between them. A quiet bond had formed stronger than before. Liam couldn't stop thinking about everything. He had experienced the tests, the trust, the fear, and the warmth. For the first time, he felt less like a visitor and more like someone who belonged. The next morning, the village gathered near the Heartstone. A gentle light spread from it. Across the clearing, casting patterns on the ground. Elder Euron raised his staff, and silence fell. "The storm has passed. And our friends from the stars have proven their hearts," Euron said. "Captain Liam has walked the path of trials and stood beside us in darkness. It is time for the final choice." Liam stepped forward slowly, looking around at the villagers, his new friends, companions, and guides. Then he turned to Alara. "I came here as a captain. I leave that role behind today," he said. because now I speak not as a leader, but as a man who has found something worth staying for." Alara smiled, her voice calm and certain. "I speak not only as a daughter of this world, but as someone who asked a question that carried meaning beyond time and tradition." Iran nodded. "Then speak the promise, and let it be heard." Liam took a breath. "I promise to walk beside Alaran, just in peace, but through all things. I will learn, protect, listen, and share. I ask not for command, but for partnership." Alara followed. "And I promise to walk beside Liam not just in joy, but, through change and challenge, I will guide, support, and trust. I ask not for obedience, but for unity." The crowd remained silent for a moment. Then the Heartstone flashed once with golden light. It was a symbol old and powerful, that the bond had been accepted by the world itself. The villagers cheered softly, some raising glowing stones into the air. Music began to play soft, flowing notes created by thin crystal instruments. The celebration had begun. As the humans and aliens shared food, music, and laughter, Liam looked around. His crew, once cautious and unsure, now sat beside villagers, learning their stories, dancing with children, and exchanging items from Earth. Language was no longer a barrier. Curiosity had become connection. Lieutenant Mira approached Liam with a grin. "You've really done it, Captain. Just Liam now," he said, smiling. "And yeah, ... I guess I did." "You know this is historic, right?" she said. "Alliance made not through treaties, but through trust." "I know," Liam said, looking at Alara across the gathering. "And I also know it's just the beginning." Later that night, as the lights dimmed and the villagers rested, Liam and Alara sat by the river. The water shimmered under the stars, reflecting the new bond between two worlds. Alara held a small object in her hand. It was a memory crystal common on her world. She placed it in Liam's palm. "It holds the story of our people," she said. "Now it will also hold yours." Liam turned it over gently. "I don't know what our future looks like, but I'm not afraid." Lara nodded. "Nor am I." Suddenly a soft sound came from Liam's communicator. It was a signal from the Endeavor. "Captain Cerillium," Mira's voice said, "we're picking up a new signal. It's not from the villagers. It's from another ship. Unknown origin. It just entered orbit." Liam stood slowly, face turning serious again. "Understood. Keep communications open. No sudden moves." Alara stood beside him. "Another visitor?" Liam nodded. "Could be. Or something worse." The peaceful night had shifted. Now the joy of union was real. But now a new challenge had arrived. Alara placed her hand on Liam's. "Whatever comes, we will face it together." He looked at her, then at the stars above. Earth had always looked to the stars for hope, for answers. And now, here on Villain 9, Liam realized something simple and powerful. The answers were not always in technology, or war, or power. Sometimes, they began with a question. How long must pass before you become my husband? And sometimes, the answer was found not in time, but in choice. The morning air on Villanine was heavy with tension, though the birds still sang, and the forest glowed gently. With life, there was unease in the village. Word of the unknown ship had spread quickly. Captain Liam Shonow, simply Liam Too Many, stood with Alara near the Heartstone, watching the sky. The villagers had gathered in quiet groups, their eyes full of questions. "Any update?" Liam asked, speaking into his communicator. Lieutenant Mira's voice came through, calm but serious. "The ship is still in orbit. No weapons charged, no signals sent. But it's bigger than ours. Its design unknown. Metallic black, no markings." "Watching us," Liam said, more to himself than anyone else. Alara placed a hand on his shoulder. "Do you believe they are a threat?" "I don't know. But I do know this. We should be ready." Just then, a low humming sound passed over the forest. Everyone looked up as a smaller shuttle descended slowly from the dark ship above, moved with smooth, silent grace, and landed softly in the open space near the village. No one moved. The shuttle door hissed open. Out stepped three beings. They were tall, pale blue-skinned, wearing smooth robes that shimmered like water. Their eyes were deep silver, and they moved in perfect unity, as if they were part of one mind. They carried no weapons, at least, none that could be seen. One of them stepped forward and spoke in a clear, echoing voice. "We are the Venari. We come in observation, we mean no harm." Liam stepped forward slowly. "I'm Liam Shaw, a human representative. And this is Alara, daughter of the Vela people." The leader of the Venari gave a slight bow. "We have watched this world for many years. We did not expect... bonding." Liam frowned. "Bonding with a human," the Venari replied. "It is rare, unusual, dangerous perhaps." Alara spoke calmly. "There is no danger in trust or in love." The second Venari spoke now. "You misunderstand. We do not speak of war. We speak of balance. This world is delicate. Human minds are intense, loud. You change everything you touch." Liam stepped closer. "We came in peace, stayed in respect. We followed your storms, your paths, your ways." The Venari leader paused, studying Liam. "Yes, and that is what makes this difficult. You are not like the others we have seen." "There are others?" Alara asked. The third Venari nodded. "Many races come and go. Few stay. Fewer still are changed." The silence that followed felt like a test. Then the Venari leader said something unexpected. "We wish to speak with the Heartstone." Lara blinked. "The stone does not speak in words. It does to us," the Venari replied, with slow, careful steps.
Ow.
The three beings moved toward the Heartstone. The villagers backed away, unsure, but the Venari did nothing but stand near the glowing crystal. Then they placed their hands gently on it. The stone pulsed once, then again. The light inside it changed color, shifting from soft blue to bright gold, then to white. The Venari stepped back. Their faces remained calm, but something in their eyes had changed. The leader turned. "The stone remembers. What did it show you?" Liam asked. "It showed us her," the Venari said, pointing to Alara. "And you, and..." Liam pressed. "It showed us possibility, unity, growth." The villagers looked around, confused. The Venari continued. "You must understand. We have watched many worlds fall because of fast love, false bonds, rushed unions. But here, the stone showed truth." Liam looked at Alara, who nodded. "Double quotes, we did not rush," she said. "We waited. We learned, we tested not just our strength, but our trust." The Venari stepped forward again. "Then we will not stop you, but we must give a warning." "We're listening," Liam said. "Others will come. Some will not care for love or peace. They will see your bond as weakness or as a tool." Liam's jaw tightened. "Let them come. We're stronger together." The Venari nodded. "Then we leave you with this." The third Venari pulled a small sphere from within their robe. It floated into the air and glowed with a soft hum. "This is a seed, not of life, but of knowledge. It will help your world speak, grow, and learn together." Then, just as silently as they arrived, the Venari returned to their shuttle. Within minutes, they were gone, rising into the sky and vanishing like a shadow in sunlight. The village remained silent for a long time. Then Alara turned to Liam. "What do you think of them?" "I think they were watching us to see if we were real," he said. "Not just together, but honest." "And what will we do with the seed?" she asked. "We'll protect it," Liam said. "Share it carefully. It could help both our people." That night, under the stars, Liam sat with Alara once more. He held the glowing sphere in his hand. "They said others would come," he whispered. She looked at him, then let them come. He smiled. "Wow, we're ready." And deep in his heart, Liam knew something true and unshakable. His journey had started with a strange question from an alien woman. But now he had the answer, and he was no longer just a visitor. He was home. Weeks had passed since the Venari left Villanine. The memory of their visit still echoed in the minds of the villagers and the human crew. The small glowing sphere, the seat of knowledge, was now kept inside a protective chamber beneath the Heartstone. Watched carefully by both humans and villagers, Liam had started calling it the bridge. "It's not just a gift," he had said to Alara. "It's a symbol. A door between worlds."
Now,
Liam stood on a high platform made of living wood and smooth crystal. From here he could see the entire village. The once small human outpost had grown, now blending beautifully with the alien architecture. Transparent panels, floating lights, and shared tools filled the space. Even the sounds were different, Earth's music mixed with Vila's melodies, creating something new. Alara joined him quietly, her long robes fluttering in the wind. "You look like you're thinking too much," she said with a small smile. Liam chuckled. "I guess I am. It's all happening so fast. That's what happens when a heart opens. The world starts to move." He turned to her, more serious. "Now they're coming tomorrow. The council." "Yes," she said, eyes calm. "From Earth and from nearby colonies, they want to see the village. Meet the people. Meet us." "Some will understand, some won't," Liam said. "There are still people back home who think humans shouldn't mix with alien worlds this deeply." Alara nodded. "There are some here who still fear the fire in human hearts. But we've come this far," Liam added. "And I'm not leaving. Not now. Not ever." She stepped closer. "Nor am I." They stood together in silence, watching the sunset. The sky was painted with pink, purple, and gold. Fireflies blinked near the river. Children human and Vila ran together, chasing floating lights. The next morning came quickly. Shuttles from Earth and other human colonies arrived, landing carefully in the newly built welcome field. From them stepped officials, scientists, and cultural leaders. Most were polite, some were cold. A few were openly curious. The villagers, dressed in their ceremonial robes, waited patiently. Alara stood at the front with Liam by her side, wearing a sash given to him during the Circle of Promise ceremony. The Earth Council leader, a woman named Dr. Evelyn Hart, walked toward them. She had silver hair and sharp eyes. She was known for asking direct questions. "Captain Shaw," she said. "Or should I say, Is Citizen Shaw?" Liam smiled. "Just Liam is fine, and you are Alara?" Nodded with respect. "Yes. Welcome to Vilanine." Dr. Hart looked around. "We've read your reports. We've studied the data. Still this," she motioned to the village, "goes beyond science. It's unexpected." Liam looked her in the eye. This was love. Some council members frowned. Others smiled slightly. "You know why we're here?" Dr. Hart continued. "A human has bonded with an alien citizen. A full cultural merge is forming. It's our responsibility to study this carefully and decide what comes next." "You understand," Alara said. That afternoon, meetings were held. Villagers spoke with council members. Children showed the guests how they played games from both cultures. Elder Aaron explained the meaning of the Heartstone. Mira gave a tour of the shared learning halls. And when the time came, Liam and Alara stood before the council and told their full story from the first question to the last promise. "You asked me how long must pass," Liam said, looking at Alara. But time wasn't the answer. It was trust. It was action. It was choice. Village was quiet as the council gathered one final time. At sunset, they returned to the Heartstone. Dr. Hart stepped forward. "After much thought, we've reached a decision," she said. "Human and Vela cultures are different. But difference is not danger. Your unity was not forced. It was grown, step by step." She looked at Liam. "Captain Shaw, you are allowed to stay here, as a cultural ambassador and as a citizen of Vilanine." Then to Alara, "Your bond with a human has shown us what peace can look like between species. We support your path." Soft cheers rose from both villagers and humans. Some wiped away tears, but, Dr. Hart added, "The journey is not over. What you have built must be protected and guided. We will send more teachers, more diplomats, The bond between Earth and Vila must be strong, not just for you, but for all who come after. Liam nodded. We agree. That night, a great celebration took place. Lights floated through the air like stars and music filled the trees. Humans and aliens danced side by side. Food from two worlds was shared under the glowing sky near the river. Liam and Alara walked quietly. It's official now, Liam said. Earth accepts us. Our bond, our path. It was always official in my heart, Alara replied softly. Now the stars just agree. He smiled. Do you still think about the question? Alara looked at him with warmth. I do. No longer wonder. I know the answer. And what is it? She leaned her head on his shoulder. Not time, it's truth. As the stars watched silently from above, and the heartstone pulsed gently in the distance, two souls, one human, one alien stood together, strong and united, not just husband and wife, not just leaders of peace, but the beginning of a new way forward, together, forever.